Imagine feeling like a part of your own body, an arm, a leg, wasn't really yours. Not that it's injured or that there's anything physically wrong with it, but that it simply doesn't belong. For most of us, this is unimaginable. But for those living with body integrity identity disorder, or BIID, it's an everyday reality. BIID is an extremely rare and deeply misunderstood condition where individuals feel a profound disconnect from one or more of their healthy limbs or body parts. It's not that they dislike these body parts, they feel they don't belong, like they're an unwanted addition to their otherwise perfect sense of self. Take the story of David. From childhood, David always felt like his left leg didn't belong to him. He couldn't explain why, but the sensation persisted throughout his life. As a child, he'd try to ignore it, hoping the feeling would go away, but it only got stronger. By adulthood, the discomfort was overwhelming, like a constant itch he could never scratch.
The leg felt alien, just didn't belong there. It didn't feel like it was mine.
David described the sensation as living in a body that was only 95% his own, with the foreign leg feeling like it was attached by mistake. For years, David tried to cope. He would cover his leg with blankets or avoid looking at it, but nothing worked. Every time he saw his leg, it triggered a deep anxiety, a gnawing sense that something was wrong. The leg felt heavy and foreign, as if it was weighing him down. Eventually, the psychological toll became unbearable, and in a moment of desperation, David decided to harm his leg in the hopes that doctors would amputate it. Remarkably, after the amputation, David felt a profound sense of relief. It wasn't just the removal of the leg, it was like a burden had been lifted, his body finally aligning with how he had always felt inside. But what causes BIID? While much about the disorder remains a mystery, some researchers believe it could be linked to dysfunction in the brain's right parietal lobe, the region responsible for body perception. In individuals with BIID, this area of the brain may fail to correctly integrate certain body parts into their sense of self. Treatment for BIID is complex and controversial. While psychotherapy and cognitive behavioral therapy can help some individuals cope with the distress, there is no widely accepted medical treatment. Amputation as a cure for BIID is heavily debated, as it raises significant ethical questions. Should surgeons remove a healthy limb to relieve psychological suffering? Or should we focus on finding other ways to help individuals integrate these body parts into their sense of self? For people like David, the journey with BIID is one of constant inner conflict. While many of us take for granted that our bodies feel whole and complete, individuals with BIID live with a deep and persistent discomfort, a disconnect between their physical body and their sense of who they are. It's easy to label BIID as bizarre or even disturbing, but at its core, this disorder is a powerful reminder of how complex and fragile our sense of self really is. It's not just about the mind or the body, it's about how the two are inextricably linked. And for those living with BIID, that link is broken in ways that most of us will never truly understand. Body integrity identity disorder may be rare, but for the people who experience it, it's a daily battle for peace within their own bodies. As we learn more about this condition, the hope is that we can better understand how the brain shapes our identity and how we can help those whose bodies don't feel like home. If you found this exploration into BIID insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts below. How do you think you would cope with feeling that a part of your body doesn't belong?